Hey guys, welcome to this video. What we'll look at in today's video involves a debt collector calling your work and how you can stop that. So here's the question. Debt collector keeps calling my work. The receptionist tells him not to call, but he continues to call again and again. How do I stop this company, this debt collector, from calling my work? Well, first we go to the text of the Fdcpa. And this is 1692CA3. So if you remember from our video on 1692C, this is about sort of communication in general with the consumer. And this tells us that a debt collector is not to call, and then we have this section, at the consumer's place of employment if, so that's the key, if the debt collector knows or has reason to know. Well, knows what? That the consumer's employer prohibits the consumer from receiving such communication. So let's kind of break that down. If your company has a policy that says you're not supposed to get personal calls or you're not supposed to get collection calls, in other words, non-business calls, and the debt collector does not know that and has no reason to know that, so they call for the very first time, well, that's not going to be a violation of this law. But if you or the receptionist or somebody else at the company tells the debt collector, look, stop calling, we can't get these kinds of calls here, do not call back, and the collector calls again, well then let's again look at this. If the debt collector knows or has reason to know, consumer's employer prohibits the consumer from receiving such communication. Well, all those are met, so this would be a violation of the Fdcpa. Now we have to also make sure we're dealing with the consumer debt, a debt collector, and then remember the final element to bring an Fdcpa Fair Debt Collection Practice Act case is a violation of the law. Well, this is the violation of the law. So if this happens, then you sue the debt collector. You sue them under the Fdcpa. You sue for statutory damages that can be up to $1,000. You sue for emotional distress. That could be a small amount, it could be a large amount. You might have economic loss. Maybe you get fired from your job, or you're worried you're going to be fired from your job. So again, we got mental anguish, we got economic damages, and it's just a terrible thing for a collector to do, because it's one thing if I owe money for a debt collector to call me, but to call my work and jeopardize my job, jeopardize my standing in front of my co-employees, that's a terrible thing to do. So it's very similar to what we call a third-party disclosure, where a debt collector calls your neighbors, calls your coworkers, calls your ex-mother-in-law or your current mother-in-law. All of that's designed to bring undue pressure on you and embarrass you to force you to pay. Well, it works, but we also flip that around and say, and now we're suing you, debt collector, and we're going to force you to pay money damages for this. So I hope that that's helpful to you. If you have any comments, feel free to put those below. Or if you're dealing with this and you're in the state of Alabama, reach out to us directly, 205-879-2447 or alabamaconsumer.com. Hope everybody has a great weekend. Talk to you tomorrow.